Hello everyone, welcome. This is another training session on the mat, and we're blessed to have Dan. Dan, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
Thanks, mate. Really good at the moment. Enjoying lockdown,
Yes.
I guess, if you can, spending time with the family. So,
That's great. Yes, same here in Fiji for us. So it's interesting how this thing is turning out to be. But yep, another excuse for working at home, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. So Dan is actually working at Adventist Media, and he is the senior web developer for Adventist Media. And so today we're going to have a very interesting training session that Dan will be taking, and it will be about web design or website
Building a
development.
church
Yep,
website and
church website on the Adventist Place. Am I correct? Adventist
Correct.
Place platform. So that's a platform, and that SPD has created, and Dan will tell us more about it as he goes through the training. So thanks again for availing your time, Dan, and we give this time over to you.
Thanks, mate. All right. You want to share my screen and we'll get started?
Yep, sure will do. So I'll just put that up right now. All right.
So I guess what we're looking at today is Adventist Place. And Adventist Place is a platform to help you build your church website. And it's available to churches, schools, and other ministries in the South Pacific Division. It's free, so it's pretty easy to jump on board. But I guess one of the first questions you should ask yourself is it the right platform for you? There are plenty of other website platforms out there. There's WordPress, there's Wix, there's Squarespace, etc. And so we didn't make this platform to compete with those. We provided as an alternative. For many churches who don't have, for example, the ability to manage their own servers or networking or those other kind of more technical details. So the other thing we also do with Adventist Place is we manage the theme. So you don't have to worry about theming, but it means if you do want to have a really customized theme, then one of those other platforms is probably a better option. Here we provide an Adventist theme based on the style guide, so you don't have to worry about that. Another thing I just want to quickly cover is when you're thinking about a webmaster for your church website or school website, often people think about, who's the most technical person in my church? And sometimes that's not actually the best person. Sometimes it is. When you think about a church website, it's a communication tool. And therefore, there's going to be a lot of writing involved. You want to have great content on there. And so somebody who's really good at writing content and communicating ideas to your community and church members is one of the best people you can get for the church. And if they're technical, that's even a bonus. Of course, you can have multiple people on your website managing it, so that can also work. All right, so here's a preview of an Adventist Place website to give you an idea of how it looks. And today we're going to look through applying for a website and setting it up and some of the features that you can use. So one of the first places you can go to is www.adventist.place. And when you get there, you'll see a general site about the platform. And looking at some of the features, you can jump off to support, read our FAQ, or you can click Get Started. So that's what we'll do now. If we click Get Started, it'll take you to our support page looking at getting access. And to do that, all you need to do is go to dashboard.adventist.place. You can sign up or sign in if you've already got an account, and then you can add a website. So let's go ahead and do that. If we go to dashboard.adventist.place, and once you've signed in, you'll come to this screen. And that's where you can see a list of all the websites that you have access to. So with Adventist Place, you can actually manage multiple websites. And this can be great if you're a pastor who's managing church A, B, and C. So you can do that all centrally through here. So if you don't have any sites there, of course, you can click Add Site, and that will load up. And all you need to do, generally speaking, is just write the name of your church. So for example, if I type in Wahroonga, we can see a list of all the Wahroonga entities. So Wahroonga Seventh-day Adventist Church, for example, I can click on that, and then I can actually ask for access to that website. So the website may already exist, and this can be just me asking for access. Alternatively, that church may not have a website, in which case we can go and set one up. It's the same similar process. You can write your comments, I accept, and then submit. Now, for the islands in particular, many of you aren't in the church membership database, and that's fine. This kind of pulls data in from the church membership database.
Okay.
So what you can do is let us know about your church, and then you can basically fill in the details about your church. So tell us like your official name, the type of entity that you are, your time zone, your contact information, the languages you speak, what your address is. This is one's really important to get right. Make sure you drag around that marker to get it. It's really frustrating for church visitors to try and go, oh, it's on X road, and that road is 10 kilometers long, and it's where on that road are you?
Yeah.
Then you can add things like your opening times and whatnot. So once you've submitted that information, we'll verify it, and then we'll add that in. And the benefit of this is that you'll also appear in the church website finder. So if people go to adventistchurch.com, your details will actually come up here as well, so showing
That's
your
great.
contact information. And
Dan,
there
sorry,
are
just a question. Just
Yeah.
jumping in. Sorry. Is it on which website? Is it on Adventist Place, just the Adventist Place website, where they can fill in the details for their church, or?
Yeah, so
Is
if
it-
they go to inside dashboard.adventist place, once
Oh,
they're already
okay.
in there, you can do it
Okay.
within there. So just let us know. I think was the
Ads.
add site, and then let us know. So
Let
if
us
we can't
know.
find you,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. Thank
So we
you.
do that with a lot of churches in the Pacific, and that's fine.
Great.
So yeah, then once you've done that, you'll also have your stuff on the church finders, which is really handy.
Yes.
And then once you've done that, then you can apply once again for an Adventist place, and you'll be able to come in here and write the church name, and you'll be able to bring it up. And the benefit of having these two systems kind of linked is that it means, like, for example, if your church pastor gets changed, it'll automatically update on your website. Your church opening times and other details, it just automatically comes through. And that's just great for keeping your website up to date, because in many instances, the website gets created, the webmaster disappears somewhere after a year, and then the website information is outdated. And this just kind of helps it keep it up to date even when nobody's around. So that's really helpful. All right, so let's just close that. So once you do apply, what you'll get is an email telling you that we've created your website for you. So for example, I've just created one called Wahroonga Demo, and you'll have a URL already created for you. So for example, it'll be your church name.adventist.place. And let's just click View Site here, which is what you can do. All right, so this is the default website you get. You don't have to do anything. This is just what's sitting there available, and it will automatically add your name and other details. And so we can see here, there's our contact information down below for our church, some general information about our ministries, visiting our church, our stories. And if we click on, say, ministries up here, let's go teens, and you can see there's general information for the public about, how does teens typically work in a church? So one of the first things you might want to do is actually just update some of that information so it's relevant to your church. There's also things like events. So any events are upcoming. Obviously there's none in there at the moment. We can click watch to view some videos. And then we can also go to visit to see like information about visiting this church. And this just provides some information on your church's, what's it like going to the church, where they can find you, some general FAQ when they contact us. So there's a lot of good stuff just to help you start off. So let's now look more at the dashboard, and let's consider adding content now. Before we do that, I'll just give you a really brief overview of where the main parts of the dashboard are. So we can see here, in the dashboard, our site status, our address, We can change that address to be one of our own. So for example, churchname.adventist.org.fj, if you're in Fiji, for example. We can see how much storage we have, any unread contact us messages. And then generally on the left here, we can view our contact submissions. We'll have a look at that later on. We can see the types of content we can add. So events, live streams, mailing lists, podcasts. We can create our own podcast here. Posts, resources. Resources, think bulletins, and you can add other documents. Video playlists. We can manage our pages. For example, you can see the home page there and some of the other pages we saw when we're looking around, visit. Our theme and layout is where we can manage the menu, or sidebars and other little details, and then there's settings. So let's start here in settings. Funny enough, this is where we can change the church name if we want to, that appears on the website. We can also add a link to our Facebook page, for example. Let's just say it's facebook.com, and maybe we have a YouTube channel as well. Let's just call it youtube.com, for example. Let's save that. All right, and now we can click view site again, or since I've already got it up here, let's just refresh. All right, and now we can see we've got some social links down the bottom so people can go off to our sites. Now, one other interesting detail here I'll mention is called a site-wide notification. And during the time of COVID right now, your church may be closed for a period of time, maybe a couple of weeks. And so what you can actually do is click show site-wide notification, and you could write a little message saying, our church is closed for the next week. And then you can say that message expires in 1 week from now. So let's save that just to get an idea. And let's refresh. And now you'll see on all the pages of our website, we've got this little banner up here. Our church is closed for the next week, just to let people know what's going on, so they shouldn't turn up. And that message will automatically disappear 1 week from now, so you don't have to remember to come back. So for now, though, we'll hide that. We'll click save. Awesome. All right, so let's start adding some content to our website. That sounds helpful. So the first piece of content we're going to add to our website is just looking at our homepage here. It might be nice to show some upcoming events at our church, just to let people know that we're doing things. So we can see we have no events at the moment. So let's add an event. So to do that, we're going to go to Content, Events, and we can see we have multiple calendars on our website. So you could have a calendar for your youth, a general church calendar, and various other calendars. And each of those calendars can have their own events. So by default, you have a community event calendar, and that automatically pulls in events from the South Pacific division. So if there's any, maybe like an online event, it can automatically pull it into your website and show it there if you choose. Now, we're just going to go ahead with our default calendar here, which is our locally managed events. And you can click Add Event, and we can create an event. So let's say our event is Join Us for Prayer. With your events, you can choose how often that event happens. So maybe it happens weekly, and then you can customize the period, the time that it happens. The time zone for me is Sydney. We can add some details about our event. So let's just add some details here. Let's add some lorem ipsum. And one of the requirements of adding an event is adding an image as well. And you may be thinking, where am I going to get an image from? Not to worry, we have an image chooser here. And this actually pulls in images from a service called Unsplash. And it's got really great professional images. So all you need to do is, let's go prayer. All right, so now I've brought up some awesome images of prayer, and I can choose one of those images. So let's just go with the first one here, that'll do. And we've done that part. We can add other details, say if it's an online event, where it's happening. Let's just say it's happening at Fox Valley Road or Warunga. And let's click save. All right, so we've added our first event. We can go ahead and add more events if we want, but let's just check our website. And let's refresh. All right, there's our first event. And we can see that it's happening on 7th of July today, and there's a +2 there, which indicates that there's more upcoming events as well. So let's have a look at that event. We can see because we added the address in here, it's automatically added a map for us. There's our text for the event. There's our great image, the details. People can subscribe to that event. They can click the +2 to see the other upcoming events, and so forth. Let me just go back to events for a second. If people want to, they can subscribe to your events as well. So they can click subscribe, and they can choose one of your calendars to subscribe to, say Warunga Demo, and therefore they can get the latest events from your website on their phone or their other calendars. All right, so one of the next things I might want to do is, coming back to my home page, which is a little empty, is actually add those events to my home page as well. So let's do that. To do that, we're going to go to Pages, and we're going to go to the home page. And this is a typical page on Adventist Place. And a page is actually made up of blocks or widgets here. And you can see here, there's actually a widget here, here, and here. And we're going to go ahead and add another widget to the page. So if I click plus here, and you'll see there's a range of widgets you can add. So that you can add a contact form, events, a feed, information about people at your church, your opening times, a map, podcasts, featured videos, just general text. That one could be quite helpful. And cards can be really great as well. This one you're seeing over here is actually a card. So a card is made up of an image with a title and a text and maybe a link off to a page on your website. So here we're going to add events. So let's click on that. Our latest events. Let's go with upcoming events. We're going to pull in events from all of our calendars, and we can sort by upcoming, and we can choose the style. So it could either be a list going down, or it can be a card style. So let's click card, save. And within the dashboard, you're now seeing that preview of what that's going to look like. And if we jump back over to our website and we refresh, you'll see there's our upcoming events. And then we can click on it to go off to that event. So, build up a collection of events just to help people know that your church is actually doing stuff at the moment and what they can join in on. All right, the next thing we might want to do is add some videos. So especially during the time of COVID, people or churches are recording their sermons. So you might be sticking those on YouTube. And if you are sticking them on YouTube or Vimeo, it's great to have a playlist. So for example, if we go over to YouTube here, I've come to the Amazing Facts website. Let's just say that's my church, and they have multiple playlists in there. And this is one of their playlists called Amazing Facts of Faith, and it has a range of videos. So what I can actually do is add all these videos to my website. To do that, all I need to do is grab this playlist URL. So let's just copy that. Now back on our website, if we go over to content, we can then go to video playlists. All right, we can see we've already got 2 video playlists there that have automatically been added to our site. If we want, we can delete those. Maybe we don't like those ones, that's fine. But otherwise, we can go add YouTube playlist. We can type in that URL we just got from YouTube. And this one was called, let's just call this one our sermons. Provide a summary here, and we can choose how the videos in the playlist are sorted. Maybe it's based on the order that's you're seeing in YouTube. Maybe you just want the oldest first or the newest first. It's up to you. And then we can choose how frequently we actually get those videos. So maybe daily, hourly, weekly. Weekly is generally pretty good for us because we add a video every week. Let's go save, okay. And we can see there's our playlist. We have 0 videos at the moment. So what we can do is, if we refresh the page, yes, it's automatically gone and fetched all the videos for that playlist. So if we click videos there, and we can see a list of all those Amazing Fact videos, and we can actually see how many views we've actually received for each of those videos on our website, which can be helpful as well. So now that we've done that, let's add our sermon videos to our homepage. Let's go to Pages, Home. And once again, we can just click on one of the elements, click plus, and we're going to add another widget. And this time we're going to add the videos widget. So let's do that. Let's give it a title for our widget, our sermons. And we can choose which playlist to show. We can show all videos from all playlists, but in this case, I only want to show our sermons. And we can sort by the most recent, and we can choose the style once again. So let's go card, save, and there they are. Our videos have been pulled in. And if we refresh our homepage again, there we go. We can see our sermons have been added to the page. And so people can get in there, they can click on a sermon, and they can start watching. We can also see automatically over here to the right, up next, it will also show all the other upcoming videos as part of that playlist. And it'll also even recommend videos that the person may like based on what that video is about. And if we go to watch up here, which we had, it's our videos kind of playlist page. And here it's showing all the latest videos that have been added to our website from all the playlists we may have. It shows which ones are the most popular based on the views that we're getting. And it shows the different channels, so people can choose an individual channel, say My Family Rules, and they can go through and find the video they want. So that's a really great way to, I guess, engage your website visitors. All right, the next thing we're going to do is look at, let's go for resources. I'm going to come here to resources. So essentially, we can have different types of resources on our website. Maybe you want to have crafts for kids that your church visitors can print. Maybe you want to put some other sermon notes, or you could do bulletins, for example. So let's go ahead and create the example of a bulletin. So first of all, we're going to create a group for our bulletins. So let's just call this bulletins. Provide a little summary there, and we can have an image. Let's go stock images again to search. We can also upload an image if we want to, just drag and drop it in there. Let's try our luck at bulletin. All right, there's some kind of bulletins there. Maybe you don't like that one. Maybe you can go document. All right, some more. Let's go with this one for now. All right, and we can choose how the documents in our resource group will be sorted by name, for example, or publish date. Let's just leave it like that. All right, so we've now added a group or a collection of our documents. So now we actually need to add documents to it. And we can add two types of documents. We can either add a file that people can download, or we can even add links to websites, for example. In this case, we're just going to add a download. We can find a file here in our documents. I've already uploaded a bulletin, so let's add that to the page. All right, we can add some text for our document. So let's add some more in there again. You can add some links and bold the text and whatnot if you want to. We can choose an author for this document. And so, for example, we can either add a new person. Let's just call it bulletin editor. And they're now the author of that. And that looks good. We can add more documents if we want in different formats, or we can add a preview image if we wanted to, but otherwise we can just click save. All right, so now we can go ahead and add more documents if you want, maybe add a bulletin every week. We can see the number of downloads for each document, so that gives us an idea of people actually interested in what we're creating, which could be helpful too. All right, so now that we've added the bulletins, we actually need to add it to our website somewhere. So we could add it to the home page once again, but maybe this time we'll actually add it as a new section to our menu. So let's do that. Let's go to Theme and Templates, and we can see Main Menu here. Let's manage our main menu, and we're going to add a menu item. And with our menu items here, we can add web addresses or a link to another website, and we can even choose how that link opens up. We can add an email address, a document, a particular file, or we can add a page that already exists on our website. So if I click on that, you can see a list of all the pages that are currently on our website. And there's auto-populated ones such as resources. So if we click on that, let's go resources, and what do we want to appear? Let's just go bulletins. And all right, there's our link there, and we can rearrange it by dragging it up. Let's go there, sure. We can close, and then we can reload our website. All right, and there we go, bulletins. All right, so in this particular case, I actually linked to the resources page that shows all resources, but I could have linked to the individual resource group as well. But otherwise, on this general resources page, it's quite handy. It shows you a list of all the most popular resources on our website and a list of all the different groups. So if I click our bulletins one, we can see our image, and we can see that document that we added just there, and our users can go ahead and download it. And we can see who the author is, when it was published, and every new document we add will get added to that list going down the page. So that can be really helpful as well. All right, so there's bulletins. Another thing you may want to add is news to your website or blog posts. So let's go to content once again, and let's go to posts. And so I'm just going to add a bit of a blog post here. We can have different categories of blog posts if we want to, but otherwise, let's just go add post. And for this blog post, let's just call it reaching out, or reach out, sure. Let's add an image to make it more engaging. Let's go helping. There's some people helping each other. Let's go with that. We can add an author once again. Let's go with our bulletin editor. They're really popular. We can add some tags, food, support. Let's go with that. When it was going to be published, and draft published. Let's make it live. Save. All right, so now we're ready to actually add the content to our blog post. And right now it looks very empty. So if we click on that there, it acts just the same way as those pages we were doing before, where a blog post is made up of widgets, which might seem a bit odd at first, but let's see how that works. So let's just add some content in here first of all. Let's go add some lorem ipsum. And let's keep the style as plain, or we could make it a card as well. All right, so we've got our first little section of content in there. And the next thing we may want to do is actually put a video right in the middle of our blog post. And we can do that with widgets. Or we can add an image, for example. So let's this time add a featured video. So what we can do is choose one of our sermons, and maybe it's going to show the latest video automatically, or we can even select one of the videos that have been added. So let's look at languages. Save, all right, and then we can continue adding more text to the page with text once again. Let's go like that. All right, and then we've got our blog post. So that's now ready to go live because I published it earlier, but otherwise if I had made a draft, I can go settings and I could choose to publish it now. So now that we've created a blog post, we obviously need to add it to our website. So we could add it to the menu as a news item like we did before, or in this case, I'm just simply going to go back to our home page and let's add that as a section as well. Plus, and now we're going to look for posts. All right. Let's just call this news. And it's our latest posts, and it's going to be in the card style. All right, there we go. There's our post. So every time we add a new post, it'll automatically show up on our homepage for our website. Another thing you can actually do here is you can actually change the spacing sometimes between the different widgets. So if you want to, you can click this little button down here. You can either delete the widget, or you can go, say, small. And let's do that for that one as well. Small. All right, so that just adds a little bit more spacing. And depending on your page, you may need to add a bit more spacing just to really make it look effective. So if we go back to our home page, we can now see that our news is now there. We can click on it and we can see that people can read our news. There's that feature image we had. There's the intro text. People can watch the video in the middle of our post, and therefore we can also look at our tags and see who the author was. So let's click food there, and we can see all other posts that were tagged food. So up here in the home page, in the menu, we could also add a link to posts, which would show all of the posts. So I've gone to posts there, and it shows a read more so I can view them all. Otherwise, it would just show all the individual posts. All right, so that's another thing we can add to a website to bring it to life. And one of the other main areas, and the last one we'll look at here, is pages. Obviously, you want to be able to add your own custom pages to your website. So let's go. Oops, sorry. Let's go here to pages. So obviously, we can go and edit any of the existing pages in here, but this time you might want to add a new page. So let's click Add Page. And for this page, let's ask the question. Let's go with, do we need prayer? We can choose to show the title on the page. We're going to publish it, and we're going to use the full width of the page. Alternatively, we could choose to have a sidebar on there. So we would have our main content, and then on the right, we could have maybe some of the widgets showing other content in our website. For the time being, we're just going to go with full width. So let's save that. All right, so with our page here, we can see the title. We can see there's a little plus, so we can start adding a widget to the page. And we can optionally choose to have a banner for our website, our page. So let's do that again. For a banner, we can click the plus icon. We can search for an image. Let's just go with that one we used earlier. That works. Let's give the banner a title. Do we need prayer? And we can add a subtitle if we want to. I'm just going to go with that. So that just means we can have our nice banner here, and the text can be over the top. So because we've chosen to have the text over the top, we don't really need it down here as well. So let's go to Settings, and let's just choose not to show the title on the page. Some other interesting settings we can see here are the link that people will see. We can add some SEO page title and descriptions. This is the kind of text that appears on Google search, for example, when people are looking for our content. We can customize what they see there. Let's go save. All right, so we've got rid of that title. The next thing we want to do is add some text to it. Let's go text. Let us add some more lorem ipsum. All right, let's stick with plain for this one. All right, so there's our text widget, and what I might want to do is add something right next to that text. Maybe it'll be a featured video on prayer, for example. So let's click plus on the right rather than at the bottom, and we can go featured video, and let's select a video. Let's go with our sermons, or let's even go with my story, and we can show the story of Peter Lindsay. All right, so that's where our video will appear on the page. Now, underneath that, we might want to show maybe some of the people in our team who can pray for you. So let's click one of these widgets. We can click plus, and this time we can add the People widget. And let's call them our prayer warriors. And let's choose exactly the people who are going to appear in this widget. So we can click add person. We can add our own people to this list, or I've already gone ahead and created 2 people. So we'll go with Roger Smith and Sally Smith. And let's click save. All right, so now we have a list of our prayer warriors, and has a little information about them. Now, when I was adding that, you could see I could only add people, but you can go to settings, and on your website, there's a section called people there, and that's where you can customize all the details about your people. So we've got that now, And maybe what we also want to do is allow our website visitors to write in a prayer request. So let's go with a contact form. All right, tell us your prayer request. All right, so let's go with that. And let's just save that for now. We'll come back to it in a second. All right, so there's our prayer request form there. And you can see it's just pulled in the vital information that our form needs, our name, email, and message. And it's essentially the Contact Us form, but specifically for this. Now, with our Contact Us form here, we don't really want it go into maybe the church pastor or somebody else at the church who looks after just general Contact Us stuff. Maybe we want it to go to our prayer warriors in particular. So let's set up that. So what we can do is, if we jump over to Contact Submissions, and this is where we manage all the requests that have come into our website through the Contact Us form. We can have multiple Contact Us forms on our website. Let's click Manage. And here we can manage the confirmation message that people say after they submit their Contact Us. So thank you for contacting us. We can see the default recipients. And in this case, what I'm going to do is we can also have topics on our Contact Us form. So let's just go ahead and add some topics. Let's go prayer request. And whenever that happens, we're going to say that we want, let's go like that. Whenever somebody completes a Contact Us form and they choose the topic prayer request, it'll automatically get emailed to this email address instead. So let's go save. Now we can add other topics. So we could add, for example, venue bookings. So maybe somebody wants to book our hall, and we could have that go to somebody else in the church, or they could request a visit to our church. Let's go request a visit, or request a visit from us, I should say. So there we've got some topics. Let's just save that. I think that's already done. One of the other great things about this as well is that maybe this automatically adds myself as the default recipient because I'm the webmaster. But let's say I'm no longer the website and I get removed. What happens now to our Contact Us forms? Well, because Adventist Place is connected to that other information we looked at earlier in Adventist Cloud related to your church, it can automatically go and look up who the current pastor is and then send that Contact Us form to the pastor, even though he hasn't been set up in here. So that can be really helpful to make sure stuff keeps coming in. Let's go back to Pages, our page that we've been working on. And now what we can do is let's edit our little Contact Us form widget. And we could, for example, allow visitors to choose the topic. So they can select their own topic there. But in this case, we really just want to have it automatically go to the prayer request. Awesome. And there is our new page. So let's go ahead, now that we've added that page, let's add it to our website somewhere. So to do that, let's go back to Theme and Layout, Main Menu, and let's add a link once again to a page on our website. Let's just call it Prayer. And do we need Prayer? Here's our link. Now, when choosing a title for your main menu, for a link in your main menu, keep it short. Quite often people get carried away and like to add really long pieces of text. That's really going to affect the size of your menu, and sometimes it can end up going off page or getting cut off. So you want to keep it really down to like 1 or 2 words, ideally 1 at the most. Let's click Done. We've got that, and then let's reorder that to here. Let's go up a bit more. There we go. Okay. If we wanted to, we can also add some sub-menu links, just like we've done here. We won't cover that now. All right, so we've done that. Now let's load our website up. All right, there's our prayer page. Do we need prayer? Yes, we do. And there's all our content. We can see our prayer warriors. People can fill in that Contact Us. And you're all set to go, really. We could also add that to our home page as well as a page. let's just really quickly look at that. Let's go to Pages, Home, and we have some little pages down, some little cards down here. Maybe you want to customize that. So rather than saying you're at our ministry page, let's edit that card. And let's rename that, Do We Need Prayer? And read more about prayer. Let's go with that. We could change the image if we wanted to. Maybe once again, we'll go with this image. Then we can choose the link for our website. Do we need prayer? Done, save. All right, so if we have a look at our homepage again, now we've customized that homepage and we've got a link to Do We Need Prayer. And that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of things that you can do with your Adventist Place website. It's pretty straightforward. One other last thing I will mention is that in domains is where you can manage your own domain for your website. So for example, I mentioned a bit earlier, but if you wanted to have, for example, Wurunga.adventist.org.fiji or PG or SB if you're in Solomon Islands, wherever it happened to may be, you can add that in here as well. Just click Add Domain, and you'll see a list of all the different types of domain names that we support. Or if you've gone and bought your own custom domain, that's absolutely fine. You can add that in as well. Now, another thing, while you're looking around here, you may get a bit confused or you forget how something works. You can always just click this nice little icon down here, which is support. And you can basically type in whatever you're looking for. So for example, how do I add an event, create an event? And you'll see information about adding an events widget, adding the events featured widget, adding events to your website, calendars. So it comes up with a range of content to help you do that. So let's click on this one here. And then we can follow along with the content. So there might be several steps. And as we navigate around the website, that'll stay there to help us look around. And that's really looking at your website, building something out. So I hope that was really helpful for you.
Yeah, wow, thanks, Daniel. That's been great in regards to get into, just under an hour in regards to, the training. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's really interesting to, also encourage people just to get into it and, play around with the settings, but also, a bit of them getting more familiar with the interface and also the different buttons and what they do. But it's really helpful, and the training that you've shared with us. Is there also a contact person maybe that they can also reach out to, maybe
Yeah,
to you
definitely.
or support staff that could help if they had further questions?
Yep, so there's two ways you can do that. That little widget we showed down on the bottom of your website
Mhm.
is actually ask
Yeah.
a question there, and that'll go straight to us. You don't have to go anywhere else. Alternatively, you can go to www.adventistplace and you can go to our support there to ask a question.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for sharing. I'm sure this will be shared to a lot of people that are interested in setting up their own pages, especially here in the Pacific. It's something that it's a service. It's actually a free service.
Absolutely.
That's been provided by our church, and let's make use of that opportunity and the platform that's available. I really like I didn't know about that the .fj .sb that
Yeah.
you guys have already made available, because I thought you'd have to pay extra or actually buy that domain, but it's already made available, and that's something that we can really take advantage of. So thank you
Yeah,
again,
definitely.
Dan. Yeah, hope if there is any other thing that we need or may ask for your services, we'll definitely give you a call. And but thanks for your help today.
No worries. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. And if you have any further questions, Dan has shared with us where you can make those contacts, and also be able to get in touch with people that can help you. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you can build your church website. Looking forward to seeing some of them, Vinaka. Bye everyone.
See ya.
Thanks, Dan.